Well, here I am sitting on 88 million to spend, and there's absolutely nobody else worth bringing in. It's really the price you pay for not qualifying for even the Europa League. Not that I think it would have made much difference anyway. Hello everyone and welcome back to Norwich City, bouncing back in the start of Season 6 of the save. Normally in a save with one club I'd be bored by this point, but not with this one. We are going through and we are going to get that 10-year achievement for 10 years in charge of one club. Never done that before. Anyway, enough about me. What about the transfers? What about what we are going to do in this season, which really needs to be an improvement on what happened last year? If you didn't watch the last one, make sure you go and watch it. But yep, we finished in 7th place, our lowest finish in the Premier League so far, 63 points, which actually, as we did say, was the same as what we got last season. We finished 5th last season, as well as winning the Europa League, so we ended up in the Champions League with 63 points. This year, 63 points, only good enough for Euro Cup 2, and we're not even properly there yet. We've got to get through a playoff round, the 4th qualifying round. We're against either NK Maribor or Hamilton, so that's going to be fun. You'd hope we'd get there, and the board do want us to win it, as well as qualifying for the Europa League through the league, which is the hardest expectation they've had since we've been in the division. We need to do it. So what moves have we made to help us get there? It's been tough. I mean, I got the main players I wanted, but just sort of, it's not that we don't have the money, it's just that there's not really anyone else who's interested who'd really be worth getting. Also, selling players is quite hard, but we have let some familiar faces, some long-serving faces go, and none more so than Christoph Zimmermann, a devoted servant to the cause, really, but at 32 he's declining a little bit. We've got better defenders now. This could cause a problem, because what his main superpower was his 17 leadership. He was the best captain ever. Anytime anyone moaned, he was in there getting them to shut up. So yeah, maybe a little bit concerned we haven't got anyone to sort of fill that void necessarily, but 2.7 million is a profit. He was a free transfer anyway, so yeah, I mean, a vital part of getting us promoted. He was very solid in the first season of the Premier League, and attributes wise still quite a good defender, but just kind of not really who we need anymore. Josh Martin has also finally gone on a permanent deal. Was just never really recovered from his injury right at the start of the save, where he broke his leg. That was pretty much it for him, and he's just sort of decent average winger, some nice attributes, not really quite the level we need to be. Particularly spent the last 2 years on loan, didn't do very well on either of those loans, and now Union Berlin have given us £9 million for him. We wish him luck. He did some, occasionally crop up with some important goals. Now the big ones. Nick Pope has gone. We talked about getting a new goalkeeper. We have done so, and he was the one I wanted to get rid of, basically because I just didn't trust him. The entire system, we altered how we were playing, and this was part of the detriment to some of our results last season, was to compensate for this man's incompetent distribution. Obviously, a fantastic goalkeeper when it comes to the fundamentals of goalkeeping. Very strong in terms of making saves, all the things you want in that way. And I hate sounding like Pep Guardiola, but his distribution just was not good enough, and it was becoming such a liability for him. As I say, we changed the role from what I wanted to play. We changed the instructions for what I wanted to do, purely to compensate for the fact that he was incapable of passing to a teammate, and even when he's told to pass it short, he still couldn't do it and decided to boot it straight to the opposition. I genuinely don't think it's an exaggeration to say that we lost at least 10 points last season purely because of him and his poor distribution, and that's really bad. That cost us Europa League football, maybe even cost us Champions League football. So he needed to go. We have upgraded, and also the other reason, of course, he had that massive injury towards the end of last season, did his Achilles tendon. And basically the coach report, it's not there anymore, but the coach report basically said he has had absolutely horrific decline as a footballer over the last few months. You can see some of his attributes have gone down anyway, and yeah, he seems to have massively regressed. Last year was his worst year by far. Previously very, very reliable for us, but to get 15.75 million from West Ham, it's a profit. It's a profit on a guy who has been erratic at best. He's 33. I think it's the right move. Also departing is Louis Sibley, a man who I spent a long time tapping up, spent a lot of money on, and then he just kind of felt like a bit of a spare part. We didn't really need him, mainly because we've got obviously James Maddison, we've got Dele Alli, and then the two youngsters, two of our brightest regen prospects in the form of Taylor Oakes and Ryan Davis, both play in this position, so we kind of didn't really need him. So the fact we were able to get a profit, not a massive profit, only 1.5 million, but still a profit on him from Leicester City, I am quite happy, was crucial, absolutely crucial in our Europa League winning run. He came in towards the end of the season after James Maddison got injured and was not spectacular, but he was a reliable presence in that midfield. We would not have won it without him, I don't think. But then just never really played much last season when Dele Alli came in, and I hope he can develop a bit more, but it's not going to be with us. And finally, largest sale is Adam Ola-Lookman, another player who I think we kind of just sort of outgrown. We had too many options in the position. He was the one that isn't particularly amazing. Had some great moments, scored some fantastic goals, did score 7 goals a couple of years ago in the season in the league alone, but overall just kind of nothing. Last year he didn't really do all that much at all, despite getting a fair bit of game time. He's often injured, just kind of not quite the player I was hoping we were going to get. But to get such a big profit from Aston Villa on the 8.75 million we paid, I'm happy with that. That's a good deal. So in terms of the incomings then, only 3 major signings once again. We needed a new goalkeeper. We've talked about this man before, and we have gone and made the deal. Really, we didn't have a choice because he got transfer listed by Manchester United for 14.75 million. I am not going to turn that down. But Dean Henderson joins us. He's barely played since the start of the save. 5 years where he's been the backup goalkeeper to David De Gea and has barely got a kick outside of the cup competitions. And even then, not many last season. Can he adapt? Can he adjust to playing regular football? I'm hoping we're going to get kind of an Emiliano Martinez situation where he comes in, becomes a number 1, plays regularly and lives up to his potential. He is far more well-rounded than Pope. There are some things that are not as good. Obviously, his handling is only 13, but his other things are pretty decent. Command of area, very good. Aerial reach, reflexes, one-on-ones, and the key, really, passing of 13, kicking of 14, first touch of 12 as well. Physically a lot quicker as well. He is far more natural as a sweeper keeper than Nick Pope ever was. His distribution is far, far better, and I think that could be the key. That's one weakness solved. Hopefully another weakness solved as well. Left wing. We're not playing James Maddison there unless we really, really need to. We've got Reece Nelson now. Reece Nelson joins us from Arsenal for £28 million. Could rise to 38 million. Depending on if he's good or not. Has been decent when playing, getting over a 7 rating with that many games. It's not bad. That's not bad at all. Key things really: 16 dribbling and 16 pace. We need him to be rapid. We've adjusted the system, as we've kind of talked about doing, to involve more width this year, and this man is going to be crucial to that, I think. Just a really nice, well-rounded player, better than Lookman, better than Todd Cantwell as well. And lastly, clearly striker was an issue last season. Adam went off the boil. Callum Wilson showed glimpses, but he has now completely collapsed as a footballer in a pretty hilariously alarming way. And some of the youngsters showed some flashes of promise, but not quite ready yet. So we needed to get someone else in, and I feel this makes me slightly ill. We have allowed Bournemouth to make a profit. We've signed Dominic Solanke for £28.5 million. We've given him a profit, but his record has been really very reliable, very solid in the save so far. He's getting better each season for the most part. 27 years old now. Finishing and composure really good. Quick and strong as well. The strength of 12 is pretty good. The work rate of 14. Good in the air as well. The heading is what we like. He's a very well-rounded, complete forward in my opinion, and I think he will do quite well. The amount of money we've given Bournemouth in this save with him and Cook and Mepham, and they can't even get out of the Championship. They finished 3rd and they lost in the playoff semi-final again. So that is that for the business for now. We may well see some more departures. I don't think we necessarily will. Basically, we've got one too many players, so one of our plethora of strikers will need to go, and it's looking like Callum Wilson is going to be the man. We've accepted a bid. It's not a great bid. It's a loan bid from Atlanta United. His contract is up. We've not made many bad transfers in the save, but this one ranks as the number 1 worst. I might as well have just taken 12 million and burnt it. He did score 7 goals in the league last year, 10 goals overall. So he would have got, he's got us some points. But overall, he's declining rapidly. He is now considered to be only a Championship level player. Just completely went off the boil. and yeah, to get even the remotest of funds back for him, we accepted a 9 million bid from Malaga. He rejected the contract, so he's going to go to Atlanta United, hopefully, and at least we'll get a little bit back from him, and then we'll just forget he was ever here. Also, Adam Armstrong, who we can register, so we will keep him if he doesn't go, but I'm trying to get rid of him. We've accepted a bid from Rangers for 11.25 million. They're the only team that's expressed any interest in him all summer. He finished second in the La Liga Golden Boot last season. He got 19 goals for Vallecano. 19 goals. No one wants him. I would take 10 million for him. Rangers have paid more than I even wanted, and yeah, just no one's interested, and I don't know why. But anyway, that's the business we've done so far in terms of incomings. I think, as I say, it's not like there aren't areas I'd like to maybe strengthen, but the problem is there's just not really anyone else who's really particularly worth getting. Jayden Bogle, Bukayo Saka, the most, well, at least highest valued players that would be interested in joining, but the thing is they're not really necessarily better than what we've got, and I don't really think it's particularly worth it. All the players I'd love to get in, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Mason Mount, Phil Foden, not even remotely interested, and why would they be? Why would they be? So we need an improvement this season. It's fair to say it's got to be Europa League, otherwise the board are going to be having a word with us, and hopefully we can get in the Champions League as well. We're going to be playing our opening match today, which is against Southampton. Again, it's always Southampton. We beat them 4-0 this time last year. It was the falsest of false dawns, because we know how things went after that. So hopefully we can beat them again, but this time it will not herald in a false sense of security. It will be a good season. And in order to face them, we have switched things up a little bit. The shape is still the same. The system is still the same. Most of how we're going to play is still going to be the same, but there's a little bit of development and variation. We did mention this at the end of the last episode. We tried it out in the last game of the season, committing to it more fully now. We obviously still have the other system. There's not much of a difference between them, so it won't be too much of a difficulty to switch if needs be. But this is what we're going to do. I have thinking quite a lot about how to sort of make what we were doing, because what we were doing was very good for the most part. We've finished consistently top 7 for 4 years in a row. That's not anything to be sort of sniffed at. That's a good performance for a side like Norwich, particularly when we're restricting ourselves in terms of who we can buy. I've no doubt we would have done better had we been able to go out and buy players from anywhere in the world, but because we are restricting ourselves to only signing British and Irish players, obviously that is going to be more difficult. So I was looking at what to do. I've had a little bit of inspiration from something I found on FM Scout, which I've linked down below to acknowledge, but we're doing it a little bit differently. And basically the major change is that Dele Alli, or whoever plays in this position, will now be playing as an advanced playmaker rather than a Mazzala. Basically what I want this role to do is more what an advanced playmaker does. Mazzala is a bit more defensive, which we can certainly deploy in some situations, and also both Ali and Maddison are better suited to this role anyway, so hopefully that will help things out. Otherwise the roles aren't really any different, although all of the attacking players are going to be on an attack duty, as well as one of the wing backs, although we're keeping one of them on support. The rest of the defence is as we were really, although obviously now we have Dean Henderson, we have got the goalkeeper back on a sweeper keeper support. It's the instructions where there's been a bit of change, particularly the in possession role. We are now focusing play down the flanks as well as overlapping. We're doing mixed crosses rather than just whipped crosses, and sort of balance out the shorter passing. We are dropping down to a standard tempo, although that will potentially change. Transition instructions are more or less the same, although we've taken off distribute quickly, and we've taken off taking short kicks only, which was only put on to compensate for Nick Pope. Out of possession to try and sort of mitigate against any potential counter attacks. We are going to be forcing the opposition inside, and we're also going to be making sure we stay on feet rather than any sort of reckless challenges, but otherwise it is the same. It seemed to work quite well in pre-season, but often what happens in pre-season stays in pre-season, so we'll see how it does today and make the relevant switches if we need to do. So the team then, as you can see, Dean Henderson of course comes straight in to goal. The defence is going to be Lewis, Ampadu, Mepham and Aarons. We're going to start Ampadu alongside Mepham. I think it's probably the best way to go, although last year's player of the season, James Tarkowski, is on the bench if we need him. Cook, Phillips and Ali is the midfield. Reece Nelson comes in on the left hand side. Buendia is going to be on the right hand side. No bids, nothing at all. Lots of interest, including from Barcelona. No one put a bid in. He's more popular at the club than me, so I couldn't exactly offer him out. He's the only guy. He's in icons. We're still only in favoured personnel. We won the Europa League. We should be in icons by now. So he's still here. Hopefully a better season from him this year. And Dominic Solanke makes his debut up front. I want to see some goals. Doing my annual scouting of regens, we might actually be able to sign as well. And this man has an interesting name, and we may well just sign him purely for that. Right then, our opening day performances have usually been quite good. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do against the Southampton side that always causes problems. Obviously, we did beat them 4-0 on the opening day of last season, but then they beat us 1-0 in the other game at home. So, great. Revenge. I don't know. We'll say we're going to win it comfortably. Give them the motivation to think that they are good enough, and let's get this season underway. Now, if pre-season is anything to go by, this is a considerably more attacking tactic than what we have been playing, which is good. Obviously, some of our matches were kind of sleep-inducing, especially last season. So let's see what this will do. We've intercepted early on. Lewis Cook with the ball out to Reece Nelson. That's the kind of long passing I don't mind. Nelson's already got a booking, but he's beaten the defender, goes to the shot, drags it just in front of goal. Not a bad effort though. 24 minutes in, and Emiliano Buendia, he has already had a premature end to his first game. Marcus Edwards is back, and hopefully he's not going to get injured himself, because we're going to need him to do well in the team now, given what's just happened. Corner for Southampton to be played in. Salisu heads just over. You can see there, stadium expansion well underway. The corners are being filled in. I'm not going to lie, I thought they already were, but we'll see. We've got 5,000 more seats on the way. I'm excited. Mepham plays it down the line to Max Aarons, cuts in, knocks it down to Dominic Solanke, gets it back. You see the width being used a lot more now, rather than just occasionally. Solanke can't quite get there. It's cleared away, but only as far as Calvin Phillips. And now Lewis's turn to find a cross into the box. Hopefully he does. Solanke's there, and Dominic Solanke gets his first goal for the club. This is what we did sort of on occasion. I mean, the other system is set up to sort of either go inside or go wide. We're going wide most of the time now, and when it works, it works. Solanke in the right place at the right time. His aerial ability on good display. 1-0. Lewis with the throw, looking for anybody. It's been knocked down by Nelson. It's come to Lewis Cook on the edge of the area, and now we're trying to sort of patiently find the ball in. Lewis again goes round, back to Cook, who strikes it, and it's a fantastic goal from Lewis Cook. What a hit that was. Had it originally, then comes back to him, and it's an absolute thunderbolt from Cook. He only scores really spectacular goals. And at half-time, that is looking very good indeed. What a productive half of football that was. 2 former Bournemouth players on the score sheet for us. Second half rapidly disappearing. Not really much action here, but we have now got one more highlight. Can we make it 3? Aarons to Phillips. He's been heavily involved today. I think the fullback's going to be heavily involved throughout the season. Cook flips it in. Solanke's there. He's onside. Second of the game. Second of the season. 3-0, 3 points. Another good move. Cook heavily involved once more. Solanke, I mean, that looked quite tight to me, but it's counting. A second headed goal from him. Right, 4-0 last year, 3-0 this year. Can we get another one to match it? I'm just hoping really that what happens afterwards isn't going to end the same way. Maddison off the bench, free kick played in. It could be 4. It's chaos in the box. We can't quite get the shot away. Maddison, can he find the strike? He's stopped. There was a chance there for 4. We didn't take it. Still might do though. Solanke finds James Maddison, and James Maddison does indeed make it 4. And if he's going to do more of that, then I'll have no issues starting him either in the centre or on the left-hand side. Now this is why I like to see patient, sensible passing, waiting for the chance. Southampton can't react in time, and it's a lovely finish from Maddison, his first of the season as well. It's 4-0 against Southampton on the opening day, 2 years running. I really hope that the rest of the season does not end up like last year. Very pleased with your performance. I'm very, very pleased. Please, I've got deja vu at the moment. Please don't end up with it ending the same way. That's all I really want. That is all I really want. Right, Buendia out for 4 to 5 weeks. It's quite a lengthy time out. I think we've got an international break coming up relatively soon though. Yeah, I think we do, but it's probably just about when he's going to be coming back from injury. So he's going to miss the rest of the month. We've got this Euro Cup 2 playoff thing as well, so not ideal, but he won't be out for too long, so not perhaps the end of the world. We've got other options, of course. We've got plenty of players coming through the academy who can do a job if needs be. But there we go then, that is going to be that. It's a fantastic start to the season. I've said it multiple times, please don't end the same way last year did. We will be back next time. We've got quite a kind opening month, and then things get a little bit, well, a bit tougher in September. Spurs, United and Chelsea. We will be back certainly once August is done, and I think we'll go through September as well. We will come back in October, November time. Of course, it depends if, what the sort of group stage is for Euro Cup 2. If we even get there, that will probably be something where we come back to next time. But that is going to be that for today. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like if you're excited for the new transfers, for the tactical adaptation, and for the new season. Make sure you subscribe as well, so you don't miss what happens next time and in the rest of Season 6. Is this the year we finally make the Champions League through the league without having to win a competition? We're not even in the Europa League. We can't even do it that way. The only way we get in the Champions League is if we finish in 4th place or higher.